Hey guys, I just wanted to get on here because I haven't really been documenting a whole lot as much as I have been in the previous weeks. So this is week 11. We're actually coming to an end of week 11. I'm doing lots of cardio. I'm doing lots of lifting, heavy lifting. My food is slowly getting taken away. All the good things. My energy is slowly but surely depleting, which is all part of the process. Also, I am aware that my patience is thinning out because my energy is getting depleted. So with that being said, I don't have a whole lot of patience documenting and filming videos for my YouTube channel. But I'm doing the best I can to document and do all those things for you all to see what goes on in my journey, in my bodybuilding journey, my first ever bodybuilding journey. And it's also for me to also look back, like after I get done with my first competition, like I can look back years from now, or even after the show, I can see how far I've come and just see all the things that took me to get to where I am or where I will be at a certain point in my life. I want to go over some things because, so like my last 2 episodes, I wanted to convey to people my transparency, my vulnerability, my emotions through this whole thing. Because obviously what you see on social media, like if you see athletes, bodybuilders on social media, most of the times you'll see like all the good things about their craft. Sometimes you don't always see what they're going through in life, their daily struggles, their life struggles. For me, I'm a Cancer crab, if anyone's into horoscopes. I'm big into that, by the way, very spiritual. I like to talk about my emotions a lot and what I'm going through, and so I wanted to paint a picture, convey to you guys how I'm dealing with all of this, how I'm coping through all of my struggles. And also, with that being said, I don't want you guys to get the wrong message that I'm just doing this because I hate myself or because, I don't know, I am doing this with a purpose, for a purpose, my reason, my why. I do wholeheartedly enjoy this journey, this whole fitness journey, this bodybuilding journey. I really do love it. And there's a lot to go over in detail with that. And it just goes back to my upbringing, my childhood, and my adolescence, and in my 20s. And so, you know, I'm 32 years old, and I feel like ever since I've entered my 30s, I just feel like I've rediscovered who I really am, and fitness really helped bring that out. Oh, this is so weird because I'm not the one to usually record myself, film myself, and talk about these things, because obviously I'm in the car, I'm at home, I just got back from the gym, I was there for like 3 hours, and I'm with nobody. I'm here by myself, and I feel like I'm talking to myself, to the camera, and revealing everything that I've got going on in my head, in my heart. So this is me being vulnerable, and I do enjoy sharing my story with y'all because I want y'all to know that this is who I am, and this is how I overcome obstacles and struggles. And fitness has pushed me to new levels, new heights, and again, like I said, it has helped me rediscover who I truly am. And yeah, I do love what I do. I do love being a group fitness instructor. I love being a personal trainer. I love being a bodybuilder, an athlete, like all those things. It just pushes me to new limits, and I become a better version of myself. And I love that. And it helps me love myself a whole lot more because I know I can do these things. I know I can excel at these things. Hard to believe, maybe, for some of y'all, but I did struggle with myself for a very long time. I just could not love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. I was self-sabotaging a lot for many years, through my teenage years, through my 20s, and just until recently, maybe a few years ago, I realized how to love myself, how to self-care, how to properly take care of myself, all those things. Hi everyone, and welcome to my third episode of this series, my first official bodybuilding prep journey. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you join me on this new journey of mine. If you are a returning viewer, I want to say thank you so much for following my journey and watching me grow through this process. This episode will be a little bit different than the last two episodes, as I delve into my profound passion for bodybuilding, prepare for an immersive journey into how I orchestrated a remarkable transformation in my life, steering it towards a decidedly positive trajectory. In addition, we will go over what I eat on a daily basis, the supplements I take, and what's included in my nutrition plan. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, so I've been doing this for 3 months now. I've been in my head a lot because, bodybuilding journey is mainly not just physical, but a mental journey. It's a very mental toughness type of journey, and I'm doing my best. I'm conquering it each day. I'm taking it day by day, but I wanted to go over some things with y'all because my last video clip I talked about enjoying my bodybuilding journey. Like, even though I've talked about in my previous episodes that this journey has been nothing but tough, I do want to convey to you guys that I also do enjoy doing this, even when it takes the life out of me on some days, or most days. I really do enjoy the process of this whole thing. With that being said, I wanted to get a little vulnerable on here. I have been thinking about what to say for this video over the past week or so, I know I've touched on who I am and what I do in my life, or what I have done in my life, what I've accomplished in my life. But I also wanted to go in it a little deeper into my background, my upbringing, and how I've got to this point in my life. In my previous video clip, I talked about how I could not love myself. I had very low self-esteem and low self-confidence throughout my childhood years, my teenage years, and throughout most of my 20s. It all started when I was 5 years old. I moved to the United States from Korea. I was born in Korea. The reason for me moving to the States at that age was because my birth mom made the decision to give me up. She had her reasons. She was not equipped to take care of me at the time. Moving to the States was an opportunity for me to have a better life with the parents that raised me, my parents who adopted me when I was 5 years old. My half-sister adopted me, and she is legally my mother. And her husband is legally my father. So those are my parents who raised me from the age of 5 years old all throughout. I want to say that I am forever grateful for the life that I have today, and that was all possible because of my parents who adopted me. However, growing up when I was younger, I had a hard time coming to terms with that. I had a hard time accepting the truth. I spent a lot of my time thinking about what if this happened? This should have happened. This could have happened. You know, all those scenarios were playing in my head. I put a lot of blame onto myself and onto my birth mother, and I just couldn't understand why at the time I was given up so easily. To me, I thought I was given up so easily. I was so fixated on the fact that my birth mother gave me up. I just could not get over that fact. It resulted into me hating myself completely. I did not know how to love myself. I spent a lot of my younger years sabotaging myself. I remember being so love-starved. I was desperate for attention. I just wanted someone to love me. And I don't know, I couldn't get myself to focus on what I already have or had. And that was the family who took me in, and loved me from the start and raised me and gave me a roof over my head, all that. But for some reason, I just kept looking elsewhere for love when I should have been looking to myself to love me. Honestly, I feel like I was a lost soul for a very long time. During my time of not liking who I was excelling in school. I was an honor roll student throughout my elementary, middle school, and high school years. I went to college. Initially, I went to college to become a pharmacist, and I had these big dreams of going to pharmacy school and getting my doctorate degree in pharmacy and have a career as a pharmacist. But along the way, I decided that was not the route for me. I couldn't stick with the intensive curriculum with all the math and sciences. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very good at math. I'm very good at science. I excelled in calculus. I loved chemistry. I took college courses when I was in high school. I actually went to a community college after high school. And I did, in fact, get my associate's degree in general science with the intention that I was going to transfer to a 4-year university, and which I did, but I ended up dropping out because at the time I realized college wasn't for me. I wasn't gonna get a medical degree. I wasn't gonna become a doctor, and I needed a way out because I wanted to be independent. I wanted to go find myself. I was about 21, 22 years old at the time, and I could not stand living under my parents' roof because I was starving for freedom, as any 21, 22-year-old would. And so that was the cue for me to go join the Army. Raised my right hand at 22 years old to join the Army, signed up for a 6-year contract as a radiology technician. It's funny how that all worked out because initially when I was going to college, I was like, oh yeah, let's go for a medical career. And then I decided I don't want to go for a medical career. And then when the Army happened, I guess I gave it another shot. During my time in the Army, I went to school to become a radiology tech. For those of you that don't know, radiology tech, they are responsible for shooting x-rays. So we learn the anatomy, the bones, all the different bones of the human body, and we learn how to angle the human body, the parts of the body, and how to shoot a good x-ray for the doctors to look at and diagnose. I spent all those years doing that at a small clinic in Germany and a hospital in Korea. I got stationed in Korea for a year. I also spent my time as a radiology tech here at Fort Campbell, Kentucky at a field unit. So that was very different, but I got to experience all aspects of my Army career as a radiology tech. Along the way during my Army career, I decided that I was not going to be a radiology tech on the outside as a civilian. I just did not have my heart in it for that. And I also decided that I did not want to pursue my whole life in the Army, meaning I wasn't going to spend 20 plus years to retire from the Army. I just wasn't going to do that. Towards the end of my Army contract, I finished up my bachelor's degree in music business from Berklee College of Music. And it was great timing because by the time I got out of the Army, I had landed an internship in Nashville. And that was my step in the right direction to work in the music industry in Nashville, because that was my dream for a very long time. During the last few years of my Army career, that was where my heart was at. Just a few months I did that, and then I landed a big girl job working at CSAC as one of the 3 major performing rights organizations. And I was very lucky to have that job. That was my first big full-time paying job in the music industry, and I really love that. I spent working there for 3 years, and I just quit that job back in March, this past March. The driving really drained me, and on top of that, I was keeping up with my workout routine and teaching part-time as a group fitness instructor and taking care of these 3 dogs and having a husband who acts like a kid sometimes. All right, so let me backtrack for a second. I forgot to mention this part. When I was getting ready to graduate from high school, or was it when I started my first year in college? I cannot remember, but during that time frame, I actually wanted to major in music performance. I grew up playing the violin, if you hadn't already assumed that or figured that out by now, since my username on Instagram and my YouTube channel name is That Buff Violin Goddess 91. For a long time, before I changed it to That Buff Violin Goddess 91, it was Violin Goddess 91. I was always defined by that. I defined myself by that name. I just thought it was very fitting because my violin was my whole life. I played the violin from the age of 10 or 11 years old. I started in 6th grade, and little did I know that I was going to be amazing at it. I practiced and practiced all the time, every day, for 2+ hours, 3+ hours, even the whole day from that age throughout middle school, high school. And I participated in the school orchestra. I've participated in a lot of competitions and concerts. That was my thing. I wanted to take that further. I wanted to major in violin performance for college instead of going for a medical degree, instead of going for something practical, something that would guarantee a career, a well-paying career. Because, well, as we all know, performance, arts, acting, all that, very cutthroat industry. Very, very hard. You have to be like star quality to make it. And I'm not saying like I wasn't good enough. I really could have worked my ass off to be at the top, the cream of the crop, as they say. But I don't know. My parents stopped me from majoring in violin performance. So while it kind of crushed my dreams, I just kind of dealt with it. And I just went on my merry way and continued on with getting my associate's degree in science, and then, you know, joining the military to do more medical science stuff. But like, you know, there's always a silver lining. And I came across Berklee College of Music offering a degree in music business. Like, if I can't major in music performance, well, I could major in music business, you know, working behind the scenes, doing administrative stuff, becoming someone's agent, or, you know, working for a publishing company, you know, things like that. And so that really interested me. And that's why, like I've always kept music so close to my heart. I've always kept my violin close to my heart. And me studying music business was to keep that close. It was important to me to get that degree. It's something that I love, but it's also still practical because I can find a job in the music industry with a music business degree. Enough about my past and my non-linear career path. Let's talk about why I love fitness, why I love bodybuilding. It's so hard to put into words. I love fitness. I love bodybuilding. Now that you know a bit about my background, how I grew up with the low self-esteem, how I hated myself, didn't know how to love myself, I can tell you that when I found fitness, I got to rediscover myself in a whole new light. My fitness journey has never been linear. I don't think anyone's journey will ever be linear. It's never a straight path. The very first time I started my fitness journey was when I was 21. The main reason I started my fitness journey at that time was because my gynecologist was telling me that I needed to lose some weight. I spent, I don't know how long at the time, but I had started birth control pills, and after taking them for a certain amount of time, I gained some weight. And I think I was at my heaviest at the time, and my gynecologist said, hey, let's work on a fitness routine. So I listened to her and I started like getting on track with fitness. I dove into Insanity program. It's a Beachbody program that Shaun T had created. Shaun T, by the way, is my all-time favorite, biggest fitness idol ever. He's helped me in so many ways, not just fitness, but like all aspects of life. I followed him for years, ever since my first fitness journey. When I completed my 60 days of the Insanity program, I saw myself in a whole new light. I was like, wow, I feel really good about myself. I love myself. Wow, I look really good. Like, this is what it's like to be fit. And of course, after that, I fell off the wagon and then got back on again. I joined the Army, and I was one of the fittest soldiers in my unit. I crushed the PT test. I scored 300 plus on my PT test in the Army. I was one of those soldiers. Like, I was able to run fast, like under 7 minutes per mile. I was able to crank out 70 push-ups in 2 minutes. I was able to crank out over 100 sit-ups in 2 minutes. I was that type of person. I was that athletic type of person. Now, knowing my past academics, like when I was going through middle school, high school, I never participated in any sports or anything like that. I was just a music geek. Like, my time was spent practicing for concerts and shows for orchestra. I was the music dork or the music geek. I never participated in sports or any type of team sports, recreational sports. But looking back, I kind of wish I did, because I've always felt like I had some type of athleticism in me. I've always had that competitiveness in me. I found that when I started my fitness journey, my first time with Shaun T's Insanity program, and when I joined the Army and I could outrun more than half the guys in my unit. And then I believe when a new gym opened up in my town where I live now, back in end of 2020, that was when my fitness journey resumed, and it took off like never before. Let me tell you, this gym has changed my life. Crunch Fitness. I was only a member for some months after it first opened, and then I was so inspired to become one of the group fitness instructors, because during my time as a member, just a member, I loved going to these group fitness classes. I loved being around these people who had the same goal as me, the same goal to be better, to be a better version of themselves, to be a better version of myself. I kept going and going. It was such a positive environment. Everybody was so nice. Even the group fitness instructors were so nice and encouraging and so supportive. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be part of that so bad. And as a result, I studied for my group fitness certification, and I got the gig as a part-time fitness instructor. And I ended up teaching HIIT classes, which is one of my forte, because I love HIIT. Sean T from his Insanity program got me into loving high intensity interval training. That is my jam. That is my bread and butter. Helps me evolve into something more. Becoming a fitness instructor, like I've mentioned before, has been so beneficial to me. I've grown so much as a person ever since I've since I stepped into that role. I've met so many people from all walks of life, different goals, different backgrounds, different stories. It just really, really inspired me. It just goes to show you that we are all the same, because we want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we all just want to be better than who we were yesterday. For me, that is why I love bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding because it allows me to push further. It allows me to be better than who I am or who I was yesterday. I know that I'm no longer the person that I was years back, even a decade ago, even 2 days ago, last week. Bodybuilding has changed the way I see myself. Back when I said that I hated myself, I hated the way I looked, even when I was skinny, even when I was bigger or fat, like I hated myself. I just didn't like who I was at all. But with bodybuilding, I can mold, I can shape myself to look like what I want to look like. And each day that I step into the gym and do my workout, I get stronger and stronger and stronger. And not just physically, but mentally. And I guess I should talk a little bit more about my self-sabotaging days. When I first started my fitness journey at 21 years old and throughout my 20s, there were times that I didn't go the healthy route. Meaning, like, when I did go to the gym to go exercise, I didn't do it in the most healthy way. At least at the time, I thought it was healthy. I had this mindset of needing to be skinny, needing to be small. I was doing cardio a lot, lots of cardio, to the point that I could shrink myself to like this, almost no muscle on my body. And I remember getting myself to that level of leanness, but not being able to like handle any weights. I couldn't even push open a door of this shop or at this gas station that I was at. I was trying to push a door open and it was really heavy for me. And that time I was doing lots of cardio, like 60 minutes a day, and I was eating very little. I was also fasting a lot. I was doing intermittent fasting because I'm a female too, and I had my faults. Saw all these fad diets. I've done all the fad diets. I've done keto. I've done paleo. I've done yo-yo dieting. I've done low carb diet. I've done the no diet, where I just starved myself for days and days and days. I've done the binge eating. I've done the eating and throwing it up right after. I've done all those unhealthy things. All those things so that I could be skinny, like a stick, to weigh less. And part of that is due to society pressuring me, and also because I'm native Korean. And if you don't know, a lot of Korean females, well, just Koreans in general, Koreans have a very high beauty standard. If you don't know, go travel to Korea and you'll see what I'm talking about. But they uphold a very high standard for everyone, as far as how they look, how they present themselves, how they dress, all that. And me being Korean, I've always dealt with that pressure of looking thin, looking skinny. I've done all those gimmicks, those fad diets, and starving myself, and I almost came to the point that I could have been bulimic, because I was just doing all those really bad things to myself. Just very unhealthy. I don't know what came over me at the time, but yeah, I was doing all those. That's crazy, just thinking about it and saying this out loud to people. But yeah, I did that. I've had my highs and lows. I've gotten to be my heaviest many times. I've looked like a blown up whale many times in my life, and I've gotten to be like a skinny toothpick many times in my life. It's just a crazy roller coaster. Once I got into bodybuilding, I've seen what it can do, what training with heavy weights could do, and then learning about nutrition. Nutrition doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't. People complicate it for so many reasons, for marketing purposes, for whatever other reasons. But there is no magic diet. There really isn't. It's all about balanced diet. It's all about eating the right foods and being in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight, eating in surplus if you want to gain weight. And for such a long time, I had such a terrible relationship with food. I just always associated food as my go-to therapy, my emotional therapy. Anytime I felt bad, I would eat. Anytime I felt good, I would eat. I would eat more than I should. But now with bodybuilding, the purpose of eating during bodybuilding is to fuel yourself so that your muscles can grow, so that you can perform optimally for your workouts, or not just for your workouts, but perform optimally throughout your day. And learning that throughout this part of my fitness journey, I've been able to have a better relationship with food, better relationship with myself. I remember the first year that Crunch Fitness was opened. After several months of taking all these group fitness classes and knowing some movements of strength training and all that, something clicked in here. And I was like, I want to work on pull-ups. I want to work on getting stronger. I want more muscles. I want to be like that chick who can lift all those weights. It wasn't until I asked my very good friend, David, to help me out with building my back and building my booty. And at the time I had some free personal training sessions that I needed to use up from the time that I was a member. And so I asked David if he could train me for the few sessions that I had left over. And he gladly did. And I learned so much from him. And I think it was just 7 sessions that I had. But after those 7 sessions, I started a pull-up journey where my goal was to achieve 10 pull-ups in one sitting. And I did. It took me maybe 3 or 4 months, but I did it. 10 pull-ups. Talking about this is like amazes me, but I did that. I think that was the starting point of my bodybuilding journey. When I realized that I could do pull-ups, that was when I knew that I wanted to take this further. I started looking into different programs, weightlifting programs. Towards the end of 2021 and all of 2022, my focus was on building myself, building my body physically and building myself mentally. And it's the greatest feeling ever. I don't know how else to describe it, but I liked seeing myself in the mirror. I liked seeing all the muscles on me. I was seeing new things, new growth. I loved all of it. I also went into my own practice bodybuilding prep journey last year, just to see like how much I could handle, if I could handle the real thing if I wanted to. And I did it. I succeeded. I got down to the lowest body fat percentage that I could on my own, and I learned a lot. And that was my way of knowing that I could do this for real. At that point, I contacted my coach and we built from there. We added size, and here we are now. So I'm telling you all this because bodybuilding has changed me in so many ways. And from the girl who used to hate herself and hate how her body looked to now the girl who loves her body. I mean, there are some days I pick myself apart and look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh, I wish I could have a little bit more of this, or I wish I could have less of this. But overall, in general, I've come to really fully love myself, and I love my journey. I love my bodybuilding journey. It's pushed me to new heights, pushed me to new limits. And yeah, one more thing that I want to add. Another reason I love bodybuilding is because bodybuilding is art. Now that you know that I grew up as an artist, as a musician, a violinist, there is art in bodybuilding. My body is a canvas, and I can create what I want my body to look like with the weights, with nutrition, the poses for the bodybuilding. I recently discovered how important poses are for bodybuilding competitions.
because different poses highlight different parts of your muscles. You have to do it right to show off certain muscles. And I really love that. Like right now, up to this point, I've done 3 posing sessions with my coach, and I'm soaking it all in. I love learning everything about it. I love learning the poses, and every chance I get, I practice on my own, and then I go to YouTube and social media to see other professional bodybuilders and how they do their poses, and it just inspires me what they could do with their arms and their hands, their whole movement, their whole flows. It's amazing. It's fascinating to me. There's art in that, and it really intrigues me as an artist, for sure. That's one of the biggest reasons why I love bodybuilding and why I'm getting into it. If I practice enough of my posing, I think I could really bring in the full package for my first show, and more shows to come.
Last part of this video I want to mention is that I've spent all of my life trying to fit in, listening to other people tell me what I should be, what I need to be, what I need to look like. Society telling me what I need to look like, what I need to be like. My parents at some point in my life have told me what I need to look like and what I need to be like. That's why I like bodybuilding, because I chose fitness life. I chose bodybuilding life because I get to be myself. I get to be who I want to be. I don't have to listen to nobody but myself. I have a choice in the matter. I have a choice to be who I want to be. And fitness has helped me realize that I don't have to fit into a box. One of my all-time favorite fitness idols, Dana Lynn Bailey, she has talked about how she came to be a professional bodybuilder, and she discussed about how at one time she didn't like herself. When she first got into bodybuilding, people were telling her to go this direction, to go look like this, or you shouldn't be in bodybuilding, it's too manly, your muscles are too manly. And she stayed the course. She stuck with what she knew. She believed in herself, and now she's widely known to be the first ever Miss Olympia for women's physique. And she has definitely paved the way for many of us women to be who we want to be. That motivates me, that inspires me to be who I want to be in this lifetime. I am strong, I am powerful, I'm muscular. I love that about myself. I love it all. I love everything that I've accomplished. I love that I get to accomplish even more in the future. I love who I've become and who I will become. I love it. I love my fitness journey. I love my bodybuilding journey. That's it, period. So today I'm going to go over my nutrition and supplements, since most of you are curious and wondering what I eat on a daily basis. My coach sends me every week on Saturdays a list of things to eat. She categorizes them by meals. So meal 1, eat this, meal 2, eat this, meal 3, so on and so forth. So I eat 5 meals a day, every day. And then she also gives me a list of supplements to take, when to take it, along with workouts. I will go into detail what I've been eating over the last several weeks since I've started my prep. Starting with week 1, my meal plan consisted of, for meal number 1, 3 eggs, 3 regular whole eggs with half cup of oats and 2 tablespoons of Skippy natural peanut butter. Meals number 2 and 3, they're the same. 5 ounces of chicken breast or shrimp. I choose chicken because I do not want to eat shrimp every day of my life for my own personal reason. 4 ounces of jasmine rice, 2 tablespoons of guacamole, and 2 tablespoons of salsa. And then for meals 4 and 5, 5 ounces of ground turkey and 4 ounces of sweet potatoes. For post-workout, meaning anytime I get done with my workout, I take something right after, which is normally a protein shake. So 1 scoop of protein powder, I blanked out, with 1 cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. She has me eating only on workout days. So anytime I strength train, which is normally 6 days a week, like 2 chocolate rice cakes. And then she added a little note in there, always use light sauces or seasonings. Can add green veggies with any meals and don't need to measure them. So any green veggies such as broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, green beans, spinach, etc. And then as far as light sauces, anything with 0 fat, 0 sugar, very low calorie, like maybe 5 calories. And sometimes I'll have like 1 to 2 grams of carbs per serving. So that's always good. So like a light Italian dressing, or you can use mustard because mustard is 0 calories, or any of the skinny dressings, or the keto sauces, or hot sauce. Hot sauce is great to use. There is 0 calories. Add a little kick to your meals. For week 2, everything as far as my meals stayed the same except for my rice. She took away 1 ounce of rice from my meal 2 and meal 3. The first week, she started me off with 4 ounces of jasmine rice for meals 2 and meals 3. Now for week 2, she dropped it down to 3 ounces of jasmine rice for meals 2 and meals 3. We get to week 3, everything stayed the same, but then she took out 1 tablespoon of the Skippy natural peanut butter. So we started off with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now we're down to 1 tablespoon of peanut butter for my meal number 1. We come down to week 4. Week 4, she took out the peanut butter, all of it. So no more peanut butter for my meal number 1. It was a very sad week. I love peanut butter, but it had to be done. So she took out the peanut butter, but added half cup of blueberries. And she also took out the 2 tablespoons of salsa for my meal 2 and meal 3. Let's recap, because now we are at week 5. For meal number 1, 3 eggs, half cup of oats, half cup of blueberries. And I have the option to add stevia or cinnamon seasoning, but I normally don't do that. Then for meals 2 and 3, 5 ounces of chicken breast, 3 ounces of jasmine rice, 2 tablespoons of guac. And then meals 4 and 5, 5 ounces of ground turkey, 4 ounces of sweet potatoes. Post-workout's the same, which is 1 scoop of the whey protein powder with 1 cup unsweetened vanilla almond milk. Pre-workout, 2 chocolate rice cakes. Week 6, nothing changed. Nothing changed for my meal plan. Everything's kept the same from the previous week. Week 7, she did not take anything out of my meal plan, but she did add 1 thing for my post-workout. The 1 scoop of whey protein powder with 1 cup unsweetened vanilla almond milk, and she added 2 tablespoons of the PB Fit, so the peanut butter powder that comes in a jar. So 2 tablespoons of that. And then everything changed for week number 8. Remember, for meals 4 and 5, I had 5 ounces of ground turkey, 4 ounces of sweet potatoes. Now for week 8, I still keep for meal 4. Meal 4 is my 5 ounce ground turkey and 4 ounces of sweet potatoes. But for meal 5, she said, meal 5, just the ground turkey, just the 5 ounce ground turkey and bell peppers. So no more sweet potatoes for meal 5. Decreasing the carbs. Love that. We head into week 9. I believe she did not take anything out. Everything's still the same. The day that I got my nutrition plan for week 10 was a sad day. We no longer are doing 3 eggs. We are now doing 1 cup of egg whites and 1 egg. For week 11, we finally got rid of the half cup of blueberries and we added in half cup of strawberries for meal number 1. And everything else stayed the same for my meals. She took out more stuff. Week 12, everything stayed the same, but she took out my peanut butter powder from my post-workout shake. So now it's just plain protein powder and my 1 cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. The most recent meal plan that I have is week 13. Don't have any type of berries in my meal number 1. We started off with blueberries for a while, and then she took that out and then put in strawberries. And now that is completely out. So now I just have 1 cup of egg whites and my 1 egg and my half cup of oats. My meals 2 and 3, meals 4 and 5, still the same. Yep, we are thriving here. Less and less carbs, less and less fat. We are thriving. So there you have it. That is my breakdown of my meal plan for my bodybuilding prep journey. What I've taken away from this is that bodybuilding is a very patient sport, and it's not about how fast you can drop the weight or drop the fat. We want to do it in the most healthiest way possible, especially since bodybuilding is a very, very extreme and dangerous sport. We still want to go the healthiest route possible. So when I say that, each week when my coach sees my check-in progress pictures, she decides what to take out, what to add in for my meals. She doesn't take a whole bunch out all at once. It's just like slowly, incrementally, gradually, so that my body responds to it in a healthy way, and it gives my body a chance to respond and adapt. You don't want to shock the body, is what I'm saying. As she has taken out foods very slowly, my cardio has increased. It started from 20 minutes, 6 to 7 days a week. And then she would add maybe 5 to 10 minutes the next week, and the next week, and the next week, and the next week. Currently, I am now up to 50 minutes, 6 to 7 days a week. And she has me doing 25 minutes fasted cardio first thing on the Stairmaster or elliptical, and then I'll go do my strength training after that, and then I'll finish up the other half of the 25-minute cardio on the treadmill or the Stairmaster. For those that are wondering, I don't have a specific day of when I go grocery shopping to buy everything in bulk for my meal prep, and I also don't have a specific day that I meal prep. I cook what I have, I prep what I have, and then store it in the fridge. And then if I run out of a certain thing, then I go buy what I'm running out of later that day or the next day, and then prep it whenever I have it stocked up. Well, most people, I guess, they do their meal prep, they go to the grocery store, buy all the things they need on Sunday, or like before they start the new week, they do it on a Sunday and spend like 2 to 3 hours meal prepping like the whole like week's worth of meals. I do not do that, especially since I stay at home most of the time these days. Actually, not most of the time, like all the time, because I'm unemployed. I mean, I'm not really unemployed because I still have my part-time fitness instructor job at Crunch, but essentially I'm unemployed full-time. My chicken breast, I dump all the raw chicken breast into my Instant Pot and I steam crock pot cook it in there for like 25 to 30 minutes. And I like it nice and tender and moist. So anytime I make it in the Instant Pot, it comes out like very shredded. I like that kind of texture. Rice cooker, typically, I'm a typical Asian, so I gotta have a rice cooker. So I cook my jasmine rice in the rice cooker, about 3 or 4 cups of rice, and then that usually lasts me for about a week, and I just keep the rice in there, the cooked rice in there. And I just always have like fresh vegetables on hand in my fridge. As for ground turkey, I used to just break it up into little ground turkey pieces in the pan. I cook it on the stove. And then I got tired of that for a couple of weeks, and then I formed it into little meatballs, little turkey meatballs, and I would put it in the oven for 400 degrees and bake it in there for, I don't remember, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And then I got tired of that, so I ended up forming them into little burger patties, like ground turkey patties. So I would make that, I would weigh it out first, 5 ounces, form it into a ball, and then splat them down into a patty with my spatula, and I just cook it on the pan. Grease it up with 0-calorie olive oil spray. That is very important because you don't want to use normal cooking oil that has actual calories and fat. Remember, we want to decrease our fat intake. So that's very important. For sweet potatoes, I sometimes buy the 2 of the 3-pound bags that come in the netting, and then I would wash them, scrub them down, the skin. I don't eat the skin, but poke holes in it and then put it on a baking tray and put it in the oven for 400 degrees Fahrenheit and bake it for about an hour, and then take it out of the oven when it's done and let it cool, and I peel the skin off and then dump all the sweet potatoes into a container, put it in the fridge. That's how I prep it. And then sometimes if I get lazy, I would just buy the frozen sweet potato that comes diced up. I sometimes do that, and you can just throw it in the microwave and heat it up for like 4 minutes, and then I just measure it out when it's done, 4 ounces sweet potato, and eat it that way. So whatever works for me, whatever works for you. Also, I do want to mention, when I went through my own cut last summer or last fall, I did everything by macros. Like, I came up with my own macros, however many grams of protein I was taking, however many grams of carbs, and however many grams of fat. And then every week or so, I would calculate my macros and decrease the number of the grams and the carbs and the fat. And it was very tedious because I didn't really have a specific meal plan. I would just buy wholesome foods, and the pros of that, the upside to that of working with macros, you can customize your meal plan. You can eat whatever you want as long as it's clean and you're sticking to your macros. The cons of it, the downside, is that you have to use your brain cells to figure out, plugging in the numbers and figuring out which foods to take out and which food to add in and all of that. It's very tedious. And then always
constantly by the food scale and measuring everything out, literally everything out. That was my experience with my own cut. And the thing with working with my coach, like, she gives me what to eat and she gives me the measurement for my meals. And when you're like going through prep, feeling depleted, low energy, doing all this cardio and eating less, I feel like at some point you're just not gonna have the patience to do all the math yourself, doing all that tedious work like you would with macros. And I actually like this way a whole lot better. Granted, like, I'm not a huge fan of eating the same thing every day, but it is what it is. I'm used to it now. Eating the chicken breast every day, eating the ground turkey every day, you know, the same thing every day. But there's a method to that madness, and I understand why. But I'm glad that it's like this way, because I don't have to use my brain cells that much to figure out my meal plan, to figure out how many calories I need to be eating and what my macros are. Like, my coach does that all for me. So that's a plus side of this prep.
What you see here before me is my supplement stack. What keeps me fueled up and going for the day, every day. This is one of my favorites. One of my favorite whey isolate protein powder. It's from Run Supplements. It's a brand company run by my favorite Miss Olympia, Dana Lynn Bailey. Chocolate flavor. I actually really like the chocolate peanut butter flavor that she has, but they're always sold out. But one scoop of this with my post-workout shake. I take this and a scoop of the creatine monohydrate, which is about 5 grams. Unsweetened vanilla almond milk. Yes, 1 cup. 1 cup of that. I've actually recently switched to a new brand of whey isolate protein powder, which is from Raw Nutrition. It's cookies and cream, and I have to say, so far I really like it. It tastes great, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm almost out of this, and that's why I bought this. I want to try something new, and this is by far really great. So this and 5 grams of this. Creatine is actually really good for you, helps build your muscle, make your muscles look fuller. One thing to add is you have to drink plenty of water. Like, drink your body weight in water if you could. I drink a gallon of water, at least I try to drink a gallon of water every day. Otherwise, if you don't drink enough water, you can be very bloated with this, and you could also have trouble going to the bathroom, like constipated. I've had that happen before. It sucks. By the way, this is my water bottle. It's exactly a gallon. It's insulated, so I can put a whole bunch of ice cubes in there and water, fill it up, and it stays cold for a very long time. I really love it. I lug this thing around everywhere I go, especially the gym. I take this to regulate my hormones. This is for hormone balance. I take 1 of these every day. I take fish oil every day. Good healthy fats, help support a healthy heart, etc., etc. 2 of these every day. I take this pre-workout. So I take this before I work out, or like first thing in the morning. L-carnitine, it supports burning fat. I take 3 of these every day. CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. This also supports fat burning. I take a total of 3 of these. This is the GDA. It's the glucose disposal agent. I take 1 with each carb meal. So whenever you eat carbs and you take this helps the carbs turn into glucose and it drives the glucose directly into your muscles rather than it being stored into fat. Also got to make sure that my digestion is on track, so I take 3 of these daily. This promotes joint support, so this is in gummy form, which I really like because I get tired of swallowing all these damn pills. It gets to be too much, but you can have something fun like gummies. So I take 2 of these zinc gummies. Immune system support. I take 2 of these as well. Finally, we have our multivitamin gummies. I got the Centrum version and I take 2 of these. All right, y'all, so that's it for today's episode. We covered a lot. Just went into depth about my why I got into bodybuilding, how I grew up, my upbringing, and all that. We went into depth with my nutrition, a little bit of what I eat and what I take throughout the day as far as my supplements. If there's anything else that I need to cover or discuss on my YouTube channel, go ahead, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you guys for your amazing, tireless support, for watching this. If you've made it this far, thank you. And I hope to see you again in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.